Good morning everyone. Today I am going to discuss the topic learning resources. This topic is for my BA second semester students for their pedagogy of English. Student, as I told you several times that English is a skill based subject. We teach English in school as in core curriculum also, and we teach in higher studies, or you can say higher secondaries also, English as a subject. But the basics of teaching English is something different in India, and we know that in India English is always a foreign language, as in India we are following the three language formula still. So it is always treated as either second language or third language, or we can say as a foreign language. So the major problem is that in Indian context, when we are teaching English as a subject, and from teaching of literature we are trying to pave the way for the language. Okay, we want to achieve the goals of language, that is the skills, the communicative competence through the teaching of literature. But our aim, or you can say the general objective of teaching English as a subject is that our learners or our students, they must develop their communicative competence. They must have the command over the four skills of English language, that is listening, speaking, reading and writing, that is LSRW. So it cannot be possible that we teach English as a subject for conceptual understanding, and we desire that we get a result with their communicative competence. We develop their communicative skills or the major skills of English as a language from just what can I say, from just one way or two-way teaching approach. Okay, as we have so many methods, approaches and techniques as well as strategies for teaching English, as we do read, like starting from direct method to situational, structural, communicative. Okay, now we are having collaborative and cooperative approaches to of teaching English. But how to ensure the maximum skill, how to retain that communicative competence among our learners or the learners of English, that is the main challenge, or we can say that is the main problem. Okay, because we cannot teach English as an monotonous subject just by walk and talk, just by chalk and talk, and all the time we speak, we keep on just following the textbook, and we desire or we feel that our learner get all the necessary skills, or our learner will develop their whatever skill is associated with this particular language. Okay, so for that we require the learning resources. Learning resources means, let me tell you what when I say learning resources, what I mean. Okay, so there is a two words, learning and resources. Okay, so the resources, the stuff, the things which are helpful in transmitting learning, in imparting our learning, they are known as learning resources. Okay, or you can say that learning resources are the tools used to enhance any teaching, learning, or in the context of language, the language learning environment. Okay, and they are also responsible for motivating and sustaining the students' interest. They also help the students to comprehend the text, to comprehend the situation, to comprehend the matter in a best possible way. Okay, and one more thing that we can say, language resources is always not only used for the student, it is a tool in the hand of teachers also. It serves as a tool and helps the teacher to make their learning more effective and to make their learning more proper, so that student can learn and student can achieve the necessary learning outcome associated with the particular lesson. Okay, so let me tell you that we should not use learning resources merely for the sake of making our lesson attractive and interesting. Okay, there are so many ways and there are so many reasons of using learning as a resources. Okay, see, as what happened, just imagine a classroom situation. Okay, I am a teacher, I am teaching, and in front of me students are there. Okay, as you go for teaching practice, you have also observed that while you are teaching, because your language is not subject like maths or not a science subject, or it's not an EVS where you are giving some conceptual understanding, some factual understanding, and students are feeling interested or curious about to know. Okay, here you are reading a poem, you are reading a story, you are going through the paragraphs, you are going through the stanza, or you are teaching the complex grammatical rules. Okay, sometimes what happens, students, they are losing their interest, they are losing their concentration, and it is too hard to arrest their attention, their concentration, because without that you cannot make them learn the things you want. Okay, so for that sense, or in that situation, these learning resources helps us most. Okay, what happened, it helps us to make learning more active, it helps us to make learning, what can I say, more joyful, or it helps us also to develop the skills of the learner, because while using the learning resources simultaneously you can focus more than one skill. Okay, so with the help of these learning resources you can plan your teaching, you can plan your next task also, you can plan various activities also, and in that way you can develop the skills, or you can say the desirable skills or the desirable learning outcome of your learners. Okay, and it also helps in the adaptation of the desirable values. Okay, means with every content, with every chapter, or with every, what can I say, unit, there are certain values which are associated with that. So we have to retain, or what can I say, we should focus on those values also. So in that sense also these learning resources helps us most. Okay, and one more thing, even when I taught you, or when others also teaching, when I am instructing you about the how to do lesson plan, or our the process of lesson planning, there also we instruct you that how to make use of learning resources under TLM. Okay, whatever teaching learning materials students are using and how to use it. So the very purpose of using TLM, or choosing TLM, is to use the learning resources. So the learning resources is a very helpful, or can I say, we cannot imagine our effective teaching without using the learning resources. Okay, so, and the most important thing, learning resources always in a concrete mode. Okay, it should not be in an abstract mode or in a vague mode. Okay, it should be very, very concrete, so that it can give a more concrete and more visual impression and effect to our learners, so that our selection of learning resources should be based on the concrete aspect, so that our learner can visualize it, our learner can learn or get a maximum benefit from it. Okay, and when we talk about learning resources, there are two terms come. Okay, that is local resources and community resources. What is local resources and what is community resources? The first I will tell you about the local resources. Okay, local resources means anything and everything which is present around us. Okay, like I am sitting here in this room, so everything which is present around me inside the room, or everything which is present outside the room, okay, means which is in my reach, जो भी मेरे रीच के अंदर है, anything which is within my reach, I can use that as an resource that will count as local resources. Means I have access upon that. If whenever I want, whenever I need, I can have access on that, and I can use it in my teaching. And then come our community resources. Okay, community resources means the place, people, or things. Okay, any place, any people, or any things which help you as a resource. Okay, suppose I am teaching you and I feel there is one more teacher who is more knowledgeable, or whose teaching is more effective than me. Suppose I will call them. okay, and they will instruct you, they will teach you. So it's an example of community resource, okay. Or suppose I am teaching you about some topic which has a visualization of any forest or any natural scenery. So I will feel, if I take you there at that particular place, and from there if I make you sense the thing, in that way you can understand this lesson so well. So if I do that, so in that way it is also a example of community resources, okay. So and moreover, your advanced peer, okay, suppose if your advanced peer, they want to give you some sort of remedial experience, some sort of remedial teaching, so it will also comes under community resources, okay. And apart from that, we have type of resources also, that is a formal and informal, okay. As our schooling and our teaching is in a formal setup, so while teaching we have formal resources also, we have informal resources also, okay. If I talk about the formal resources, at that time our books, our storybook, our handbook, our textbook, okay. So any type of material which is in the form of book and act as a supporting book, that known as formal resources. Apart from that, we have dictionary or any source book, encyclopedia, they are also termed as formative resources, okay. Apart from that, we have informal resources. Informal resources means that they will not comes under any code or any formal setting, but they are a very strong source of information, and they are a very strong source, okay. Like for example, nowadays we have library. For teaching of English, we have language lab, we have various advertisement, we have blog, we have films, short films, okay, documentary films. We are having language institution, we are having certain spoken centers, we are having various literary clubs, okay. They are known as or treated as informal resources, okay. So it is, in brief, it was about what resources it, how it's work, and what are the types, okay. So we can use resource always according to the need and interest of the learner, okay. So before selecting any resource, we have to be very clear about the need and interest and utility. Most important factor is utility. We should not always go for just for sake of using. We always have to be very clear that it is useful or not. And then the presentation, okay. Suppose I have kept one resources with me, but I don't know at what particular moment or what particular time I should use my learning resources, okay. That thing is also not appropriate. I should know what is the particular timing, what is the particular space, and what is the particular content area where I should use my learning resource, okay. So to use the learning resource is an also very intelligent decision for a teacher. So that's about in brief language resources. I have one presentation on this also, so just go through the slides for a better understanding. Just start it. So now go through the slides. Resources. As I told you, resource is a source from which benefit is produced or acquired to accomplish activity or to achieve desired outcomes. Okay. That is the meaning of resource. And learning resource. So learning resources are those devices and procedures that helps to make teaching and learning more interesting, more stimulating, more reinforcing, and more effective. As I told you, the learning resource helps us to make our learning interesting, stimulating, reinforcing, and more effective. Okay, they always helps us and serves us to make our learning more endurable, more lasting, and more effective. Okay. Now, utilization of learning resources. Learning resources helps us for our clarity. Clarity means clarity of concept, clarity of presentation, Okay, in that way they helps us. Then attention and interest, as I told you, sometimes our student, they are losing their interest. Okay, they are not having that much interest, because language is a subject that teacher is reading, keep on reading, and students are listening, and in that way they lose their interest also. So learning resources help us to retain that attention and interest of our student. Okay, it also used as best motivators also. Okay, it is the resources which helps us. Motivator means it motivate the learners, it acts as an external motivating factor, and motivate our students towards learning. Then use of maximum senses, as we know that just keep on listening will not helps us. Okay, as our visual sense is more appealing than just our audible sense. So in learning resources, whenever we are having some visual impact, visual resources or audio visual type of resources, it makes our learning more interesting as well as more permanent. Student, they understand more. So it use the maximum our sense organs based on maximum of teaching. Okay, so the resources, as I told you, it should be concrete, it should be general to specific, it should be known to unknown, it should be simple to complex. So it follows the it follows the maximum of teaching. What should be the arrangement of learning resources according to the behavioral and psychological term, psychology of teaching. So it is based on that maxim also. So it is easy and it is interesting to use those learning resources to make our teaching learning process more accurate and more effective. Okay, saving time and efforts. Okay, it is also most important. Learning resource save the time of teacher and efforts. Okay, sometimes to make a concept more clear, or to make a concept more interesting, what happened, teacher has become so overloaded. Okay, so just to unload the teacher's workload and just to help a teacher, just to save the time of the teacher, learning resources are also very helpful. Okay, as teacher has to make so many worksheets, teacher has to prepare so many activities, and that way they feel so much overloaded. So with the help of these learning resources, we can lessen the workload of a teacher. Encourage participation. Okay, very important. As I told you that with the help of learning resources, we can make our student to work in a group also. They work in a group, they prepare the group, and they act in the group, because it helps in the participation, and it give them or prompt them to always work in a group and in a pair work. Then introducing variety. Okay, learners are having variety of experience, variety of exposure with the help of learning resources. Otherwise, just chalk and talk method or just walk and talk method make their learning so monotonous and so boring, and in that way they are losing the interest factor also. So with the help of with the help of our learning resources, we introduce the variety. The learners are having more than just talk and lecture method. They are having sometimes visual experience, sometimes having audio visual impact, sometimes they are having only audio impact. So they are having more than only monotonous teaching. Development of scientific approach, it is also important. Learners are learning so many things. As I told you, we are using internet, we are using film, blogs, language labs. Okay, so in that way they understand the so many things also. They understand a scientific thinking, rational thinking also, that how to use resources to making their learning more approachable and more comprehensible. So in that way they develop a scientific outlook also. Then promotion of international understanding. As I told you that when we choose any learning resources, it's not that we choose it from our nearby only. Resources are available, and basically if we go for the internet, and if we go for the library, if we go for the advertisement and movie, okay, or any dictionary or encyclopedia, so it has words and concepts or explanation from all over the world, as English is a global language. So in that way students come to know about all the aspect, and they also know about all the things associated with the teaching of English as a language, and they have one international outlook also in that way. Then meeting the individual difference, it is true sometimes there are some students, they are having short span of attention, they can't focus for so long, or in that way they, what can I say, they are not able to concentrate on teachers talk. So for them these resources are like a boon. Okay, it help them to make the thing, to understand the things. It helps them to enhance their concentration, attention level. And sometimes some students, they are what can I say, below average also. For them to understand anything just through chalk and talk method is not necessary. So when we teach them with the help of some resources also, it is more appealing to them, and they find it more interesting, and they learn from it. Okay, so it makes the individual difference also, because we have so many types of resources which can be used on various type of learners also, according to their need and interest. Then principle of learning resources. Whenever we choose any learning resources, we have to be clear about the principle of selection and principle of utilization. Okay, means what we are selecting as a learning resource, we should not go for any unnecessary selection. We cannot go for resources though they are easily available, but they are not that much appropriate. Okay, so we have to be very selective. Is it really necessary? Why we are using, how we are using, what is the purpose, what is the objective, how we evaluate. Okay, everything we have to think beforehand while selecting any learning resource. So this principle of selection is utmost. Then principle of utilization, as I told you, just selection is not enough. We should learn how to utilize it, it also. So this principle of utilization is very much important. We should know how to utilize those learning resources. Sometimes what happen, we choose the learning resources but we are unable to use it, because sometimes it is not flexible, sometimes the environment is not allowing us, sometimes by mistake we are forgetting, sometimes we are thinking it may be beyond the reach of the learner, either too tough or too easy. So in that way we always follow the principle of utilization also. Sometimes we took any resources like computer, internet, for that we need electricity, we need a proper speaker system, but we are not having the electricity. Okay, we are not having the, what can I say, the tools which we require. So in that way it's also a failure of resource. So we should also follow the principle of utilization also. Then this is a interconnected image regarding the identifying appropriate learning resources. Means how we should identify and appropriate our learning resources, like current resources and performed standard. Okay, there is a gap also. Then how we make our personal learning plan. Then formal and informal learning resources we are having role based learning paths. So there is an interconnection with all the things which we are using, so we have to choose and we have to act accordingly. Then there are certain examples of formal learning resources like textbook, course book, storybook, dictionary, source book. Okay, they are the what can I say, you can see the whole, they are the certain formal learning resources. They are, as I told you also, they use as a learning resources. Then we have example of informal learning resources too, like library, like language lab, like advertisement, like film, like blog, spoken center, etc. So they are used as an example of informal resources also. So in that way, it depends upon the teachers or the nature of the subject or nature of the class or grade, that what type of resources we are using, formal or informal. According to the need of the learner, we are choosing our resources either formal or informal, or we can mix both also. So thank you so much for your patience hearing. I hope you have liked the video. So I hope you understood about the learning resources, its use and types. So it was all about learning resources. So whenever we will use learning resources, we have to be just very much sure, and we should ensure that it should be use accordingly. And as I told you again and again, English is a skill based subject. It is a communicative competence based subject. We have to ensure that communicative competence, or I can say the working knowledge of language, because as I told you that in English teaching we pave the way for the language through literature. Okay, so in that way resources helps us, it enrich the, what can I say, the understanding and the comprehension level of our learner. It give them the experience which they need the most, because unless and until if we don't give them the real life experience, okay, so English is the subject where we should go for the real life experience. Real life experience is the most important thing. If you teach them every time everything in a what can I say, in a setup of classroom, we cannot claim that they will learn. Okay, so if they follow some real life experience, if they follow the things or resources from real life, like suppose every time child used to see internet, movie, and there are so many advertisement come on internet and movie, okay, and maximum advertisement comes in English also. Like I remember Amul's advertisement, utterly butterly delicious, the line is written there. Okay, speak less, eat more, it's also written there. There are so many brands, they are having their slogans, and for making it more catchy they use English as a language, and with that they make it more catchy. Okay, so these are the things students are observing. Not only they are observing everything inside the classroom only, okay, like while traveling on the road, they follow the hoardings also. The hoardings, they're also there is something written upon that, they try to read. Even I observed my son all the time, he used to read any hoarding, any instruction written anywhere. He sometimes I get irritated also, because earlier he was, when he was not knowing to read properly also, that time also he was asking me, and now where he is unable to understand, or he is unable to, what can I say, extract the meaning, that time he keep on asking me. Sometimes I get irritated also, how much things you are asking me, okay, but I answer him because that is the way. Okay, so what can I say, so that is the thing. All the time students are observing language, not only inside the classroom they are observing the language, they are observing the language outside the classroom also. They observe the hoardings, they observe the advertisement, they observe the textbook, newspaper, magazine, the persons. Nowadays it's a fashion to talk in English also, especially in the, what can I say, big cities. So also they hear and observe the talks of the people also, the English movie, the English songs. Okay, there are so many things which are there. So from that they also extract the language, okay, and they are also counted as a resource also. So this is a English is a language which has to be executed so well with the help of resources, and mostly the necessary resources. In that way we have to be very, very clear, and we are very, very cautious that what type of resources we need exactly. Okay, and accordingly we should incorporate our resources with the teaching of English to make our teaching more appropriate, more effective, and mostly to get the desirable learning outcome, and whatever the aims and objective we set before our teaching, so in that way these resources helps us, so that is most necessary thing. Okay, so I hope you have understood this teaching. Any comment, any confusion if you are having, just let me know. Okay, I will try to make it more clear. So just follow the video and try to prepare your notes also, or any more assistance if you require, you can ask me, okay, from my WhatsApp number or on my Gmail account also. So in that way I am there to help you. So just learn. Okay, and thank you for your patience hearing. Thank you so much.